Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at Shadow Obstagoon. This Pokemon is super nice because I got a rank 1 Shadow variant of this one. And it's also very cool in the current meta because it actually has quite a lot of play, which a lot of people don't really respect as well. One Pokemon that can counter we see currently on the screen, which is going to be Diggersby. And if we're going to take a look at the typing, if we're going to take a look at the moveset that we have, and if we're going to take a look at the current meta, we're going to see that we're going to have Pokemon like Feraligatr, where we're going to be able to resist triple resist the fast move actually, while still being able to take a hit and still dishing out a lot of damage with counter. We're going to have Diggersby, where you do super effective damage against, and every other normal type as well. There are a lot of rollout normal type Pokemon that we can hit for super effective damage with both a cross chop as well as counter. And then we're going to have the new Galarian Corsola, which is basically everywhere, which we completely hardwall as well. And so, if you thought Obstagoon was like kind of a meme here, it was absolutely not. I definitely went positive with this team. I had some teams before that tried to play that just did not work out, that you will never see. Just tried to have a little bit of fun with Greninja, didn't really work out too much, but yeah, this team was lovely, and as you can see as well, the first opponent has maybe won a regional, but not against our Obstagoon here. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have a great lead, and we're going to see again, a lot of Pokemon here currently are very weak to fighting types, and while we are not a pure fighting type, we're just going to be a normal and dark type, we still have counter, and we're still going to have cross chop. Here, make a big mistake. I should have went for my move one turn before. I still sometimes struggle with the fact that it's now 6 fast moves to get to a cross chop or a night slash. I still always think it's just 5, but yeah, that's definitely a me issue. Anyway, we're going to be able to go ahead and go for the Icy Wind against the opponent's Drapion here right now. We're going to swap out into our Diggersby to get out the Marowak from the opponent. It's going to be a very tough battle to still win for us, but let's see if we're going to still be able to get through this. We're gonna go for a shield here. Bone Club is coming in. We can go for another charge move as well. It is going to be the Scorching Sand, which is gonna get shielded. We don't get the debuff here onto the opponent's a 30% chance. But we still are looking solid here. I think we still have a solid chance. I'm not too sure on how this is gonna go though. Again, no debuff here, which is actually a bit unfortunate, but I still might be able to get another Scorching Sand here, which would be really cool. Bone Club doesn't knock us out. They swap out. I should use a shield here so I can knock them out. And I think I'm gonna be fine because I still have energy on my Drifblim. I go for the Fire Punch here, that's a bit risky I think, but I might still be fine to knock them out here. It is not enough, but we can go for the full farm down. And I still stay in, and I swap out now, I take the hit, and I think I'm gonna lose this battle now. And that's kind of unfortunate, that was not necessary. Oh wait, I can still go for the Scorching Sands, but I should have not been able to. Good job me, still gonna win the battle, but yeah, this was unfortunate because I definitely should have not won this one. Even though I most likely had the chance, I just didn't play this really well. Anyway, let's see what the next opponent is going to have here. We're going to have the Dragonite against us. So what we can do is we can use a shield here against the opponent's Dragon Claw, and we can go for some Icy Wind damage. That is going to allow us to drop the opponent's attack as well, and we're just going to be able to get the KO against the opponent anyway. And they swap on to the Toxapex, which is great for us because actually our lead is really good against Toxapex. But of course we're kind of low on health, that's why they want to go for the full farm down. But we can get the shield back from them, and we can align our Diggersby and keep our Obstagoon for whatever they have in the back, which hopefully going to be something that's weak to counter. But of course we have to see about this, and if this is going to go well for us, it's going to be Cresselia. That's not weak to counter, but it's weak to Night Slash, which might be also a way of dealing with this Pokemon. They're very likely going to run a Moonblast though here, which is going to be super effective. I'm not too sure if we can still take one with the Shadow variant. The normal variant definitely can take one, but can a Shadow variant take a super effective hit here from a Cresselia? We will find out, but we also find out that we got the boost here from the Night Slash, which is really nice for us because now our counter does more damage, and yes, we still survive, and yes, we can go for the Night Slash here as well in order to get the KO or the shield from the opponent. We get the KO, and we can still go for another Night Slash here, which is now double boosted Night Slash coming through against the opponent's Toxapex Obstagoon, showcasing that is not just a meme. We have now the Fire Punch coming up against the opponent because I need to get rid of the final shield from the opponent. It does work out for us, and as we will see here, the opponent can go for a Brine, and let's see if 2 Brines are going to be enough to knock us out. The opponent has a ton of energy. It would be enough, but we can still CMP tie here. We win the CMP tie, we can knock them out, and we can win the battle. Next up, well, let's see. We're going to have Drifblim against Corviknight. This is going to be something that's definitely okay for us. We see the swap out into the Goodra, and I actually decided to stay in here because, for me, this is not a great matchup generally speaking, but what I can do here is I can go for an Icy Wind, drop the opponent's attack, maybe get them even a little bit lower still with the Drifblim. I could stay in here for a little bit. I do stay in just to get the fast move damage onto them. And then swap onto the Diggersby, because we know there's a Corviknight still lurking somewhere. We know that the opponent is debuffed and has a non-stab Awkward Tail coming our way. We are very bulky, doesn't really matter against our Diggersby. And as we will see here, Awkward Tail is going to do a ton of damage, and Corviknight is coming in now. Corviknight is going to be definitely a Pokemon that we can hit quite hard with a Fire Punch. This is the thing. Like, I kind of assumed, of course, that I can fully farm on the Goodra, didn't really work out fully, but I was able now to get a ton of energy, enough to get even another Fire Punch on for the Corviknight. They're forced to use a shield here if they want to keep their energy, which they do. And they still have to go for a charge move in order to knock me out here, which they also do, which is going to be the Iron Head here. They have still another Iron Head stored, but we can still go for the Icy Wind and knock them out before they go for the charge move. So we have a shield advantage. We have still our Obstagoon against the Corsa, and that's a good game. Like, this should be a good game here at least, because we have Night Slash. Night Slash is super effective. They have triple resisted fast move here from them with this Tonish. And they only have the stab move of what's called Power Gem against us. And as you can see here, we put the opponent to farm down range now for Obstagoon. We can use a shield here. We could actually take a hit as well from the opponent, but we see, actually, I think we would have lost the zero shield scenario, which is kind of hilarious, by the way. But Power Gem is going to not knock us out. We can see the Goodra coming in, and we're going to be able here to win against, I think it was Tomahawk UK as well, who was also a very, very talented player. And as you can see here, we can go for the full farm down and knock them out with the Obstagoon, and we can move on to the next opponent. Lovely lead force, a really good lead force. We're gonna see them stopping out straight away into the Dugong, and we can stop into our Obstagoon. We should be able to outspeed them here as well, which we can, and this is gonna allow us to get a Shadow Cross Chop off before the opponent can do anything. And I should let the move go through, because I can take a hit here, and I can go for the full farm down afterwards as well, which allows me to get a ton of energy here. As we will see, counters perfectly enough to get the knockout. They're gonna go back into their ground type here in the Marowak, but we can do some solid damage with Night Slash, with counter, while we are debuffed. It's still going to chunk away a little bit, but I decided to swap out because I'm not too bad against this Pokemon. But at the end of the day, this was a mistake, because now I'm locked into this matchup, and that's a silly play from me. Like, it's literally just a silly play. I don't think that the opponent's team, by the way, makes sense. You have two Pokemon very weak to water and grass. Like, where does this make any sense at all? It just doesn't really. And then you have Dugong, which is also not great against either of those types either. You have a triple weakness to grass actually on this team. So yeah, I don't know how the opponent's team is still floating around here. But as we'll see, it's going to be sadly a little bit of a trickier one. We have to go for the Fire Punch spam against the opponent in order to do anything here, to be fair. And a Bone Club is coming through against us. We have the Fire Punch coming in again. This is going to allow us to get the shield from them. We can try again to get to another Fire Punch, but as you see here, we have to use another shield against the opponent. It's going to be the Bone Club. And we try to get to another Fire Punch in time. Fire Punch is coming through. And this is going to allow us to get another shield, but we are kind of running low in terms of health, and I'm thinking the opponent still has another charge move stored on the other Pokemon. And they swap out into the Carbink. This is CMP here. It's going to be a Moonblast from the Carbink. I have to go for the Fire Punch to try to knock them out. They barely survive, and I kind of threw away this game here. I could have won this one if I just didn't swap out. Just needed to let my Obstagoon go down. Big mistake, but still a 4-1 and a Rookidee to catch. Again, Rookidee, very good Pokemon. I made a video about it yesterday as well with the cheapest team. Check that video out. It's going to be linked in the end card. And we can move on now to the next opponent. Having a Diggersby in the lead is going to be a great lead for us, because we have one of the harder answers to it. With the Drifblim, while we are Ghost type and do double resisted damage with our fast move, we still have Icy Wind as a good coverage move that does super effective damage, drops the opponent attack, and just makes the matchup so much easier for us to deal with. They actually want to stay in and just play it out, which is totally okay for me, because as we can see, they're already at half health. They go for a Fire Punch. We can still survive easily another Fire Punch afterwards. But I'd rather keep my Drifblim alive. And this was very, very smart, because what we see here next is going to be the opponent going into their Annihilape. And you might think, why does he go for the Fire Punch here? Good question. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, I should have mostly went for the Scorching Sands. At the end of the day, there's one benefit, because our switch clock was, our fast moves were unaligned. I was able to deny the opponent a fast move. But was it worth it? Maybe, because one Scorching Sand doesn't do enough damage anyway. Does it really help? No, not really. So yeah, it is what it is. We're still going to be able to swap out here, go for the Icy Wind against the opponent. And now we're going to have a little bit of a tough choice here, because the opponent uses a shield, and you have to use both of our shields here, because Obstagoon cannot deal with Annihilape. Even with the health that they're at right now, Obstagoon would struggle against them quite a bit. And so I'm forced to go for 2 shields here against the Rangers. At least I get some energy in against them. And we got rid of the Annihilape at the same time as I go into a Diggersby. Do I still survive this move? I highly doubt it. I don't. And now it's down to Obstagoon to still win this one. Can I catch a move? No, I cannot catch a move. So it's down to Obstagoon. Can we see a Pokemon in the back maybe that we can deal with? That would be great. It's Dewgong. We can deal with this one. We have a double weakness to fighting here from the opponent. But it's gonna still be very, very close. We have to kind of catch a move here in order to have a chance, I feel like. And I'm gonna go for another move here as well. It's going to be the cross chop. They don't survive. We don't have to catch. We just win. Obstagoon is just destroying them. That is great for us. Counter plus cross chop is actually an interesting play, and I would even assume that maybe even Machamp still has play with it. Like, the thing with counter is just, of course, you have the extra damage output that you like to have, but then again, like, if I think about it, you have also Annihilape, which is just doing a better job than Machamp with counter. So, yeah, I guess Machamp needs kind of karate chop still. But as you'll see here, we're going to be able to go ahead and go for a Fire Punch against the opponent's Jumpluff. This is going to allow us to go for another Fire Punch now as well. This is going to knock them out. We definitely can still survive a hit here, which is great. Energy Ball is coming through, we have shields down, but this would knock out the opponent, and so we have the opponent also in the range where even a Night Slash would do enough, but as you're gonna see here, we can get the realignment, which is kind of nice, because now the Quagsire is going to be aligned later on against our Drifblim, which is cool, I think. And we have the Awkward Tail getting the knockout. We can stop back out again. They go back into their Morpeko. But here's the thing. The opponent goes for a charge move. And our Pokemon in the back is a Dark-type Pokemon. In the Dark-type form of Morpeko, Dark-type Pokemon are hard roll basically to Morpeko because you don't do really any damage there. Of course, yeah, it still did a lot of damage. It was a +1 Morpeko with an R-Wheel, and Morpeko has a high attack stat, and R-Wheel is a busted move. So, like, I'm not too surprised about seeing the damage here. But we still have a chance here at least. Our hope is that we survive a Stone Edge after the debuff. That is the only way of us winning this battle. And as you're gonna see here, Ice Wind comes through, debuff comes through. Is it going to be enough for us to survive the Stone Edge? They are Shadow, we are Shadow. By the way, for Quagsire, I don't really like the Shadow variant for it because you don't see that they're Shadow. Like, you don't have ice on this Pokemon really that are, like, yeah, I don't know, like red or something like this to indicate that they're Shadow. So I find it sometimes confusing when you have your own Shadow Pokemon on the screen. But yeah, they were Shadow, they're going to be able to knock us out. We can actually talk a little bit about some weaknesses for this team. There is one clear weakness. It's actually 2 clear weaknesses. Like, Azumarill is like one that you can definitely consider as it, but the Elite matchup is actually kind of okay for it. And then you have Wigglytuff lead. How would you do with a Wigglytuff lead? I actually didn't encounter, I think, a single Wigglytuff with this. No, I actually encountered one Wigglytuff with this team. I did like 5 sets with this team, by the way, if you're wondering. Like, if you battled me and with this team, you don't see yourself in there. I did 5 sets with this team total. I had a lot of fun with this team. I climbed up a little bit with it. Not like crazy much or whatever. But honestly, like for me, the issue with this team was mainly the comp itself, maybe with like Drifblim and the Diggersby core being double weak to ice, which is like one weakness that I definitely saw. By the way, if you want to fix the issue that I was just talking about, the ice weakness, go for Corsola in the lead. Corsola is the recommended lead. I just didn't like Corsola. That's why I went for the Drifblim. But definitely the double ice weakness was a bit of a trickier one. And it would have been better to have Corsola in the lead here for this team if you want to fix it and make it a little bit better. But otherwise, the team was actually lovely. And Obstagoon honestly had a lot of play. Like, Obstagoon was for me my favorite Pokemon from this team. And yeah, let's see on how this battle is going to go here. It's going to be, oh, Obstagoon can go for a charge move again. And like, this is the thing as well, like, Shadow Obstagoon actually did put in a ton of work. And he, even against the Azumarill, can go for the full counter down and win the battle. Second to last battle, Talonflame, can also be a bit of a tricky one because our backline doesn't deal really well with it and our lead is only just mediocre with it. And so what we can do here is we can go for at least 6 fast moves because you kind of want to yeah, get the free fast move if they go straight for their own charge move, because they go for their own charge move after 15 turns, which puts you also at 15 turns, which gives you always basically a free fast move in, which is really, really cool if they go straight away. And here we're gonna see the Superior coming in, which is okay for us. This is kind of also what we want to kind of bait out here, but we still have Fire Punch, of course, for this Pokemon. This is like the one reason why I don't really think that the Punch update was really smart. Is like, Diggersby was already strong, Fire Punch was already solid for Diggersby as a bait move, but like now you actually don't make it just a bait move, it's also a Pokemon that has no coverage against one of the biggest weaknesses of its typing, which is like the grass typing. So yeah, I don't know really what I think about Fire Punch Diggersby. I wonder if there's going to be ever an update to Diggersby to kind of fix it, maybe with Quick Attack getting nerfed or something, I don't know. But it's currently one of the strongest Pokemon, and mostly the most important Pokemon to build for the Open Great League if I was you. And I'll maybe make even a list for Monday or something for like Pokemon that you really want to build for the Open Great League if I was you, that are gonna be solid also for like later on. But yeah, definitely one Pokemon that I would definitely put high up on the list there. As you can see here, we're gonna have the Morpeko going down, we have the Talonflame coming in, we have 2 Night Slashes stored, and I'm very certain I still need one more fast move. I wasn't too sure, but I was certain kind of that this should be okay. And we see the double boost on our Obstagoon as well. We can go for a Night Slash, get the KO, and get another double boost at the end as well. So we had a double boost that didn't really make any difference even for the first time, which is kind of hilarious. But we can move on to what I actually just said as well. There is just this double ice weakness with your lead and your backline. If you would have the Corsola in the lead, you cannot get rid of that weakness. And that's something that I definitely would recommend you. Corsola is most likely the better one there. I just find my Corsola a bit awkward because I don't have good IVs yet. I have one that has okay IVs that I might want to build. But basically, there is a big difference for Corsola in terms of what it can beat depending on what IVs it has, because the bulk just drastically increases with the IVs. And so, yeah, I just don't really like to play my bad Glaring Corsola. And so I would rather want to wait until we get a good, until I get an even better one than what I have currently. But as you can see here, against the Chestnut, we're going to be able to go for the full farm down. They're going to swap out into the Obstagoon. We have the Galate coming in, and we have Drifblim as a hard answer for it. And honestly, at this point, I'm very certain I can just go for the full farm down after using a shield, because I should be able to outspeed them here. I am able to outspeed them, and now I can go for Icy Wind. I can drop the opponent's attack. They have a Dugong that is going to go up against the Obstagoon. That's going to be a good game. And so it's going to be a final one for the day. Honestly, I had a lot of fun with this team. Like, this team worked out really, really well for me. Those were the better sets for me as well. The best sets they had today. Yeah, that's going to be it. Hopefully, I'll see you in the video later on as well. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.